primary self-expression journey that I've been on, or I'm currently on. I want to start off by saying, like, growing up, I grew up in a home where my mom, who was the main disciplinary in the family unit or the family dynamic, she had been conditioned that children were supposed to just follow their parents blindly, and just trust that what they're saying is going to keep you safe and this and that. And so, with me at a young age, knowing that I did not fit in and trying to fit in, like I would succumb to all of this uh, discipline, for lack of a better word, to engage in activity the way everybody else was doing it. And because I knew that it was a stretch for me to do these things, I would resort to basically being by myself. Like, I would retire to my room and read a book. My mom suspected me of doing other nefarious things, and so she actually removed the door from my room so that she could look in and make sure that I wasn't doing anything nefarious while I was in there, which I wasn't. I was just literally just reading my book because it gave me a chance to escape to worlds where people were different, where things were different, and they were going through this journey of, trying to be accepted and not getting that because society had never encountered anything like them before. And so when I finally broke free from all of that and started on this journey a year ago of just traveling the world, and then, the opportunity came for me to be more myself and less of this character that I had been taught to be played, I jumped on it. And now that, I go about my day, makeup, wig, whatever, like, in the beginning of this journey, I knew that I wasn't going to be accepted by society. I knew that I was going to be, in a sense, ostracized, not because they don't want to connect, but because people really just don't know how. And it was fearful at first because it was like, you're going to be doing this by yourself. Like, and then I got to thinking about it and I realized, well, you already do. You go to the movies by yourself. You go out to eat by yourself. You travel by yourself. Like, how is this anything different? And so, of course, we committed to it. Now I enjoy it so much, and I've been going to more, like, just going to more places like this, and it's really interesting the responses that I get. I either get supporters that are 100% with me and cheer me on, or I get people who give me what I call the silent treatment. Like, they don't speak loud, they won't look me in my face. They seem just agitated by my existence, and it's one of those things where I'm like, when I get up to make myself into who I am, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm presenting what it is that I like. So if somebody compliments on me on my makeup, I'm thinking to myself, I liked it first, regardless of I don't know you, first off. Even if I do know you, like, you weren't there when I was putting it together. So it was for me. Like, I'm glad that you appreciate it, but I'm not doing this for you. So when people compliment me, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know. That's why I did it. Like, but I'm glad you like it, whatever. But when people don't like it, I look at them and I think, well, that's pretty bad because I did it and I wasn't really thinking about you. But the fact that you have come so far out of character to acknowledge me being in character, it almost makes my heart sing because I'm like, there's a battle going on, and I represent that battle to you. And so, and thereon. So it's been really interesting now that I'm 100% solid in me. I can see through people much more clearly, especially those that are putting up a front, because it becomes more obvious to me the transparency that they lack because I hold so much of it. But at the same time, like, am I upset that people don't engage with me? Or am I upset that they don't have the courage to speak to me? Not at all. Like, I think to myself, like, I already knew that going into this, it was going to be so much inertia for everybody to have to get over it. And now that I'm comfortable with me, I don't really care about them having to get over the inertia. But I am very happy that I'm solid on my decision and that I don't feel as alone as I thought I would have been on taking this task and journey into just being myself. Like, now I feel I feel empowered because I don't see people like me being represented. Like, it was one thing to be, gay. It was one thing to be black. It was another thing to be, by some standards, some people don't even consider me black. They're like, oh, you're too mixed. You're not pure enough. Which, I'm not here to meet anybody's standard. Like, I let all that go when I decided to just represent myself in a way that makes sense to me. But um, yeah, I'm okay. Like I'm perfectly okay with the being alone. It's like, yeah, I'm alone, but I'm having so much fun. Like, I play with my makeup, I play with my hair. Like, I have more time to do the things that make me happy than waste time trying to please everybody around me, who at the end of the day, it's still not going to be enough because they aren't happy with who they are. Like, that's the part where I'm like, no, when you're genuinely happy with who you are and where you are, you don't wish ill will on other people. Like, you too filled with love for hate to find a space. But people are like, oh, he's going to die. Oh, she's going to die. Oh, look at that. That's just going to ruin them. You really don't know what's going to happen until the story is told. So it's still ongoing. So just be a spectator in their show, but be more active in your own show. And so that's the part about this journey that really is becoming golden for me as I realize that in me being myself, I am helping other people overcome their fears and their problems with their self identity because they know the amount of courage that it takes for me to stand and look like this and be this. It's like, okay, you're going so far against the grain, like the amount of courage, but at the same time, it isn't the courage that I have to overcome. It's me feeling the empowerment that comes from others viewing my ability to be myself. So, like tonight I went to a kava bar, my first. It was an interesting experience. I didn't necessarily feel like um, maybe I'll go back with friends. Maybe I'll make friends. The people there was a lot of looking. I could tell like I felt like they wanted to engage, but they wanted me to, I guess, open it up. And I was like, I'm still new here. I just rather be a spectator. Y'all can move around the space, and I will pretend like I'm not here, which is impossible because look at me. But it just felt good. It felt good to represent myself. It felt good to be in that space. It felt good to know that there were people who don't agree, and that's fine. But I'm also like, hey, eventually you'll get to where I am, and you'll look back and realize that I was a symbol of transformation. I was a symbol of courage. I was a symbol of happiness. And that's the part. This is what I also want to add. I've been watching like other content creators, and my thing with watching like other content creators, especially those that are like do like me and do the non-binary like transformation, they, like this, and it's like, wow, that's a woman. Like, I really commend them for that. But then I realize a lot of them don't really leave the room. They don't really leave the space. Like, you don't see them engaging with people outside of where they are. And I know like the lighting and the this and the that, like it's easier for them to do those things, and that's great. But like when I see myself go out, that's when I realize like, oh wow, like there really isn't that much representation of people like me that are just being themselves and don't have a problem with people gawking or looking funny, or in fact I look people straight in their eye, thinking to myself, like, it's not going to change anything. Like, I'm glad that you feel like your feelings are enough to move me, but I'm so solid in my feelings that I would never take your feelings into consideration. It's a waste of my time. So I moved to the space, and I know that eventually, the world will become a lot more tolerated. The world tolerating will get to the point where it will accept the inevitable, which is change. Nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. And the sooner you can accept that things are supposed to change, the easier it is to just accept life for what it is and see the beauty in the change, see the transformation in the change, see the empowerment that comes from letting go and just being a part of everything around you, which is change.